Some.
I think we're live.
Most.
Somewhat. A few. A lot. Don't pretend you're one of them.
A plethora.
A plethora of games.
Hey, I think we're live, guys. Chat, let us know if we're live. We do appreciate everybody who's already here. You're the cream of the crop. That's a weird saying, and I wish it would die, but I'm going to keep it alive. Thank you for supporting the show. If you're here, hit the like button. Maybe share it with a buddy or two. Hit retweet on Twitter. And, of course, let us know your thoughts as we go through the topics. Massive day and even better things coming. So, again, thanks for being here. Seriously. We got some introductions, some shout-outs. We'll start off with a hell of a topic. And, again, chat, thank you. Let us know your thoughts. Colt, another week, another show.
Some Eastwood. Yeah, that's me.
Somebody.
Yeah, somebody that I used to know. Yeah, what a crazy day. We'll get into it as soon as possible, but thanks for having me.
Facts. Again, chat, let us know if you get any echo, any weird stuff going on. We've also got the Grounded Gamer / He's Dead, Fonzarelli Gaming. How you been? All right. He's got this new soundboard. He's trying to figure something out, undoubtedly.
He's like smacking it. Whack!
This fraud. D-Batch is going to be 10, 15 minutes late.
Really, honestly, you called me grounded.
And then I said that was dead. And then
I'm
I called
here.
you
I'm here.
Fonzarelli
It's
Gaming.
good to be here, especially on such a big day right now.
Do you have a YouTube channel around Grounded, that game where you play as the kids? Yeah!
You know what?
You change your name more than PB does. Damn.
Let's not even go there. That's too much.
Well, shout out to you, Fonzarelli Gaming, for changing your name. And another week, another show, brother.
Another show. I also put out a video today, which is, I'm trying.
I said great video today, Fonz, in the chat, but that was long before you were conscious. You had a long night's work.
I appreciate it.
So we've also got Tim Dog, brother. How you been?
Yep, I'm here. xCloud Tim Dog, king of the bad takes. So I'm ready to go.
King of the bad takes.
Grounded and avowed. Let's axe them. Let's get rid of them.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're going to cover that.
Oh, my God.
That's an interesting one, Zalker. Speaking of Zalker, how you been, brother?
I'm doing good. I had a lot of work today, but I was glad to see the official announcement, the big announcement, big day for Xbox and the gaming world. And then as I get on Twitter, I just see freaking Tim flailing a sword around, just taking heads off. I'm like, geez, Tim, this freaking didn't stop, man.
Now, look at great. Looking at the chat as Tim's flinging off skulls. I already get the impression that there's people out there that didn't actually read Phil's statements or anything. They just saw like a little Sony fanboy troll account, basically give their take, and then they ran with that on what was said and what was not said. So again, we're going to give our full opinion on all that stuff. If you're a loyal RDX listener, then you already know what we've said. We'll kind of get into that, and we'll go into how that's adjusted, or if it's adjusted at all. But again, let me do some shout-outs to my verbal shout-out tier on Patreon. Quickly, we've got Faultline Z, we've got Fierce Fuzz, megalifecbd.com. I don't know. Hopefully that's okay. That's the name. We've also got Not Sislick. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. We've also got Tyler Sanders, Alex Emery, Elk Dude YouTube, God's Geeks. I don't know why you changed your name, brother. God's Geeks. We've also got Bad Boy Live, Achievement. Elk Dude, yes. Achievement. We've also got
Achievement.
Nano, Zoradin, Dr. Vertex, Costanza, Wayne, Scott Super 74, KY, Bob. We've also got Wakanda XNT, Goose 8402, Straw Hat Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object, Gab Quisteo, John Blue, Vecboss, Deviator X, on top of Real Deal No, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, All Might, Gaz, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Shout out to you guys in the patron tier, the shout out tier. Xbox Bethesda deal closed. Oh my. Phil Spencer says this is the first step in building an industry leading first party set of studios. And this is the most important part here. He says a commitment that we have to, or that we owe rather, to our Xbox community.
Would you look at that?
Choice of words, as usual. Now I want to know the thoughts here from Cultist Eastwood. When this news came out this morning and you went and pooped out a video real quick. But I'm kidding. It's a great video. God. What was your thoughts? Kind of echo that, and maybe why should people go check out the video after the show?
Well, I made the video the night before because they had nearly completed, or it was pretty much a completed acquisition. I didn't think there was any news until the leak that was the Thursday event or video that we may see this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actually waiting to go put my video live, and Dealer tweeted, "Hey, look at that! It's official!" And I'm like, "Oh crap, they put out something." But yeah, what a mess.
What a mess.
We're gonna
Explain.
get into it. Well, it's just kind of messy. The vagueness continues,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw some excited Xbox fans celebrating this W that was games will be exclusive on Xbox and PC, but it said some in there, and that's like a whole hour of topic we'll get into. So yeah, it was
I mean, we're
kind of
starting with you, sir.
interesting. Huh?
We're starting with you. Why
Well-
didn't you call Phil Spencer on your Boost Mobile walkie-talkie phone and tell him, hey, look here, we need these games locked down to the Stadia?
Well, I mean, when you write these press releases, there are several people who are vetting and reviewing it. And so the word choice "some" was decided upon by many people, and it still makes me scratch my head.
Doesn't it have to be that way, though, since they already said
Right.
case by case
Yeah.
and they'll honor deals,
Ri-
et cetera? Why are people acting
right.
like this is new?
I mean, if I would have pushed to use the word "most," but then there
Oh my
Tim's
god.
left.
Oh my god. Come on, Colt.
Yeah, I really would have. But I just think in the
Mhm.
climate, well, let me explain why. In the climate that Xbox is in right now, where they have gone an entire decade with very few high-rated exclusives outside of their main staples. They've had a lot of third-party deals that didn't pan out very well, and then they've had really great returning franchises. So while they've been behind on unique content for the Xbox platform, this Bethesda deal comes in, and the majority of the gaming media and the masses that have a voice that speak out about this are pretty much assuming that Xbox has not had no games, and Xbox will never long ever heretofore have games. And that's the way people are reacting. And when Phil Spencer says some of our games will be exclusive to the Xbox and PC, it is very natural for most people to say, "Oh, so that's not very many of them then." Some automatically becomes the less majority. That's my take on how it's reacted. I don't believe that that's what Xbox and Phil Spencer mean. I think what he means is there's some deals. There's certain little games that we want to keep multi-platform or on mobile. We have a couple developers that'll make only mobile and arena-based or MMO games that will be on game streaming. And then you have Android and iPhone, which are their own platforms that you can't say are exclusive to Xbox.
That's something people are forgetting about. Is mobile games as well. Like they had Gears Pop, et cetera. They got other little things like that.
But this isn't the time to like be wishy-washy or be vague. Like this has gone on for 5 months, and Phil came out and said they all decided, well, most is probably the right word, and most is not the right word.
Well, why box yourself in though if you don't have to?
Well, here's the other part. Phil can't box Xbox in and say all or most because they are in the process of acquiring a bunch of other publishers or a couple more publishers, which will just continue to make games and put them on the Xbox platform without Xbox's studios like Matt Booty having to do all that legwork, because they want established teams who already retail, outreach, and market and publish on their own just for the Xbox brand. They can't just say they can't set precedent that all games are going.
Big Moose in the chat. Put your face up to the screen so a moderator can smack the shit out of you. He says, "How wrong were you guys, huh?" Yeah, I don't know. I recall everybody on this panel saying, well, they said case by case, so that means some of them will be going to other platforms.
No, I've always said most. And if Bethesda puts out 15 games from now until the end of the generation with all those studios, well, let's say 10, okay? If they put out 10 games, 7 or 8 of those will probably be exclusive. So that's why I say some wasn't the right word. Most is probably the better word. But what I was getting at before you had to get rid of Moose Boy was that they can't set precedents that they're buying up publishers so the games will stay in one place, because they may not be able to draw in other teams to join Xbox if they feel like they're going to be pigeonholed into doing a certain thing. But every other platform would expect to be exclusive. If Nintendo bought a studio, you'd expect to only see those games on the Switch and whatever new console they
that
have.
just destroyed the whole that whole argument then, right? Because they're not going to be on one platform. They're going to be on. We've seen Steam, we've seen PC, we've seen Xbox, we've seen xCloud. It's about that's why he's saying. We're like. The thing I don't like about it is everybody just concentrated, like he wrote a really big, couple paragraphs, and people concentrate on one stupid fucking word.
Oh,
sorry for cussing.
Fruit of Pebbles.
I'm sorry for cussing, but just dumb. It's dumb. And no, we don't look at what he said, industry leading first party. That's a direct shot that I read to everybody around the industry. They're trying to be the place where people are going to be playing games. And it's going to be the place where they get first party, out there. Yeah, some of them are going to come out on multiple platforms. We've already said that. A lot of the multiplayer games probably going to be multi-platform. Some of the deals they have probably going to be multi-platform.
And I've looked at the studios.
Let me read that just for people that are
just
joining us, by the way. I got to read this for people that are just joining us. We are up to past 1,500 people live already, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't. Retweet it, show a buddy or two. Shout out to the Big Plume, who basically says, my natural reaction to this is, hey, some previous deals are going to be going other places, just like before. And again, Phil Spencer says this is the next step in building industry-leading first-party. He says a commitment that we have to our Xbox community. I mean, why is nobody talking about this quote? I like to.
I think that's exactly what I'm saying, and I don't understand how they're not realizing. People just concentrate on Bethesda. This was the same damn argument that happened when Obsidian brought out the Outer Worlds and all these other ones. People were like, well, it's not exclusive. Look, they're making games for everywhere. And then the next game, Avowed, they announced it for Xbox and PC, and that's it. Do you not
Outer
think that's
Worlds
going to
was
happen?
already paid for by private divisions. So unless Xbox said they were going to buy them out, that's not how it works. But
well, that's what I'm saying is that those studios like Obsidian and all the other ones they bought, Playground Games, they're not making any games for PlayStation. All those games that they've announced in the future that are going to come out in the next 2 to 3 years are Xbox Series X and PC only. Do you not think that Bethesda is going to follow that round? Because I remember the argument was, well, they never called Bethesda Xbox Game Studios. Well, now they did. Yeah. And they rectified that.
They did. Yeah,
they called it. They said Xbox Game Studios. We are one team now. They are part of this.
Phil said again in this press release, he said, we are going to allow Bethesda to continue to manage or work the way they've always worked. Those aren't the right words because that doesn't help. But he said they're going to continue to make games the way they've always made games. And people think that means they're going to release them on platforms they've always released them. That has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Greenberg said it on the show, right? Greenberg said that we're going to let them have full quality all the time they need, right? He said it on the show. And I want to take some other people on the show because it's a very passionate subject. We're going to be on this for a minute. Chat, let us know your thoughts as we go. But yeah, I mean, that's what he means, I would imagine. I want to hear from Fonz and Tim on this stuff. Fonz, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, please tell us what Fonz Really Gaming is thinking on all this stuff and really where you think their mindset's at and the messaging.
I agree a lot with what Zucker is saying. It's just, it's a lot of, for me, I feel like the only games that are really going to continue forward with being multi-plat anyway on PlayStation, because let's be real. We're talking about consoles here. We're talking about the console space when we talk about, are the games going to go elsewhere? Because they're going to PC anyway. We already know that. So will they go to the PlayStation? I believe that some games will, and these games will be games like ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, and they're Fallout 76. They're going to continue those games on those platforms. They're already there. Then, of course, you have those other games that were already being made for the PlayStation and being, pushed for the PlayStation, like Deathloop and whatever else they may be making right now for the PlayStation as well. I don't have an issue with any of that. My thing is that I hope that everything else, and I'm talking everything else, should remain exclusive to Xbox and, their ecosystem within the PC realm. For competition's sake, this is what's needed. Okay. Is it a win if it does go to PlayStation? All their games went to PlayStation? I guess technically you can call it a win for Microsoft because they would still get paid, but I'm not in it for these companies getting, their money. Yeah. I want to see these companies compete on a gaming level like Sony has been competing. They've been killing it with their exclusive content. So that's where I'm at with this. I feel like Xbox should really think long and hard before they decide maybe Starfield would be a good fit for PlayStation 2. I think that shouldn't happen. Okay. Their games need to be exclusive, period. Leave the other games that are already out there on those, other consoles, fine. But as of now, going forward, think Xbox. That's what they should be doing.
And the thing I don't understand is that everybody's just concentrating on Xbox. Jim Ryan, like 2 weeks ago, literally said they're making PC games and they're going to be coming to PC.
He was very sweaty days after.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, people are just coming out of Xbox. Oh, not exclusive. It's like, dude, you understand that nobody has exclusives anymore. I guess PlayStation has no games. Like, he just talked about it. Like, he just brought that up, saying that we're going to keep doing that, bringing more. It just, people, that's where we're going. It's dumb.
I just want to add real quick. First of all, I told you guys. No, I'm just joking. No.
D-Bash, what are your thoughts today? What'd you see out there?
I think it's gonna be like I think honestly it's gonna be like maybe 5% of the games that show up on other platforms, and it's gonna be where it makes sense. Like the big blockbuster exclusives like Starfield, I don't think Starfield's gonna show up on the PlayStation 5. I think that's gonna be Series S, Series X, and on PC. And I think a situation where we might see some of those games trickle over is maybe after a year of it being on the Xbox platform, or 6 months, we may see some titles trickle over. I don't think it's going to be the exception. I just think it's going to be the odd game. I think that they bought this studio to obviously bolster their studios that they have in their development and their games, and also to get Game Pass to the next level. And if you're going to do that, you need to have some type of exclusive titles on your platform. So I believe like 95% of the games are going to be exclusive on the Xbox platform. And I think there's going to be the odd one, maybe like Elder Scrolls, where it did have a following on the PlayStation. It did have a following.
No, D. That better not happen.
But
that's ridiculous.
There might be a case where there's a specific game that does it. We don't know what happened behind the scenes, how they hammered out their deal, and I think Colt is right. I think Microsoft doesn't want to set a precedent that if you sign with us and we take you over, that's it. Everything belongs to us and to our platform. If
that was the case, then nobody would sign with PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah, but
PlayStation's in a different position. Let's just be honest. PlayStation's in a different position this generation, and I have complete faith in Microsoft. But this generation, they got some proving to do, and they have to produce those games. Where Sony, they kind of already established that they're the de facto for exclusive games, for exclusive content on video game consoles. And Microsoft is not at that point yet. And I think them getting all of these studios will get them at that point. And like I'm saying, long story short, in order to do that, they got to keep the majority of their games there. But the odd game might trickle out.
I think it's the next.
But Elder Scrolls is not the odd game. Elder
Scrolls is a massive.
Shout out to Double Barrel Gaming Boomstick, by the way.
Yeah, what's up, Boom? But I think it's going to be the same thing as the other studios, like in Exile and Obsidian. A lot of the games for the next. All the games coming out from ZeniMax Media for the next, call it, year and a half, might be multi-platform. Once they start working on their games, since they're part of Xbox only now, or it's Xbox game studios, those games will only be concentrated on Xbox because, like he says, we want and what everybody else said months ago, we want Bethesda games to play best on Xbox. So that means concentrating on that system and that ecosystem. That doesn't mean taking people away. No, it's not. But no, that means not bringing games out on PlayStation in a year and a half.
If you say in a year and a half, like it's already been like well over 7 years since Xbox has had a large catalog of unique games. And if people are going to say, well, they have to honor some stuff for the next year or two. So, in 2024, Xbox will start getting games. Like, what the crap?
No, Xbox will start getting games. You're still going to get the games.
Let me, because when it gets too noisy, I'm going to break it up with like a comment or something from like Pop Smurf, right? He says, so maybe that's the plan moving forward, ? Basically, you finish out the timed exclusives, the contracts with Sony, and then everything else new, stays with Microsoft, and that's something that we had speculated is definitely probably the case, but we'll see.
I just want to add real quick. I think it's going to be the case where we don't know what deals they had hammered out before this deal went down. So there might be some titles that might have to come to other platforms. I'm not quite sure. I don't know all the details. But I think if a game comes to another platform, I think it'll be after like 6 months, a year of it being on the Xbox devices and PC first. And then maybe it'll trickle over. And like I said, I think it's going to be a really small percentage of games that do that.
I don't think that's going to happen, dude. Phil Spencer does not do that. Like, he doesn't like doing that, taking stuff away for just 6 months or a year. Like, that's not something that they've done. He said he doesn't understand the whole process.
It's all or nothing.
He's got
That's what
30
it's about.
games. He's got 30 games coming to the Xbox in 2021 that are almost all of them are timed exclusives. So yes, he's fine with timed exclusives. That's not what he says he doesn't like. He's had plenty of those. There's a whole bunch of games that on PlayStation and Xbox that are timed for 6 months or to a year. So yeah, he's okay with doing timed exclusives, but not with his studios he owns. It doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. And
things change.
Is it time exclusives or is it on Game Pass launch? Because that seems, I don't think he cares about the time. I think he cares.
I want
His
to know.
whole
The chat is
anti-
asking for Tim Dog's opinion on this after Cole. So go ahead, Cole.
No, it's just everyone assumes that when Phil said he doesn't like these anti-consumer practices, is he talking about breaking up the player base with online games with online content that is only available, like maps and expanded content only available on this platform, and a year later Xbox gets it, or vice versa with PlayStation. And everyone just always tags that with Phil doesn't like timed exclusives or Phil doesn't like exclusives, and that narrative needs to drop because that's not what he's saying.
All
so
right,
go ahead,
Tim
Tim. I'm
Dog.
sorry.
Well, he understands that's part of the business, and I think that it's something that he doesn't really love doing, but he, out of necessity, you have to. And that brings up the core of what all the Xbox fans want. Every one of the Xbox fans that I pretty much talk to is saying that they want them exclusive. They want Starfield exclusive. They want a dedication to exclusive. Talk. That's the way. Hopefully we get something on that like that Thursday, because there's going to be something they're going to rehash this, and we're going to be talking about this again. But my take is, listen, even today there is a fever pitch going right now. If you can't read the room, then you really need to reevaluate things, because the answer is to put these games on, make them exclusive. That's the answer. That's what the fans want. That's what the guy that buys 1,000 of your games, and buys 6-year consoles and puts money all the time into your ecosystem. They want that. You know why they want that? Because it's a case of when you're being told that you have nothing for so long, and now the shoe's switched on the other side. Why give it to anybody? Why give it up when you took all that shit for all that time? So a lot of Xbox fans deeply feel that way. It's like you said that Xbox had no games. You made memes of it. You made fun of Xbox. You made fun of their fans. And now it's like, hey, now the situation is like, now you're saying, well, come to my platform. The platform that you were pushing for and that you were a fan of, and that you hated Xbox. So there's that whole thing there, and like that's crazy. I can tell you those people like are crazy. They want this exclusive. And when I see that type of response, I know it's like something called, it's like a shifting. It's like a shift. They have a potential for a shift. They go all out on Thursday. They do it and do it, the right way. They're gonna, it'll shift. People will start coming to Xbox exclusively. It's like somebody said to me in DMs, gamers go to where the content is. If they know all these games are going exclusive, you're getting an Xbox. And in the end, that's what you want.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And so
well said.
If that's the case of the whole thing, let's just see Thursday. I have a feeling that they're going to come out on top. I think that maybe Phil didn't have the best choice of words. He did say near future, which is obviously probably talking about Tokyo, and that has to take them into consideration. But if he said all, everyone would say, well, what about these two? Or what about ESO?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he didn't intend for that type of reaction. But listen, we all agree. I think Starfield's the answer. So if there's Starfield's exclusive and they announce that Thursday, it's going to be a boom, and people are going to be gunning for Xbox.
They need to announce Elder Scrolls being exclusive, though. Honestly,
It's
to me,
that one. If you do that Thursday, then we're running down the block to celebrate. You know?
Yeah,
because
I don't think
Starfield is just one of those games that's vaporware right now. It's not even, we don't even know really what the game is going to entail or what it's going to be about. But we do know that Elder Scrolls is a tried and true, gaming series, and if that was to go exclusive, that would be a huge bomb. Huge bomb.
It would be a bomb.
Here's an interesting comment from Most. He says, so this is about video games. Xbox fans, get over yourselves. You're getting all the games. Stop whining. And you know what? I gotta agree with this guy somewhat, because there's a crazy thing has happened this past, I don't know, 6 months or so, right? Microsoft heard a bunch of people saying, you got no games. And they said, hang on, hold my beer. I have $7.5 billion in my pocket, and I don't want Google or Tencent or anyone else to get these massive collection of studios. We know it's been in the works for a while. So they did it, and I think it's the best case scenario. Now, what we've said from the beginning, and anyone can go back, and if you think otherwise, link me, please. That's some guy on Twitter just lying about everything we were saying. We said that most likely you will use these big games, the big draw, like something like an Elder Scrolls, as something to bring people to your service, which is the thing they want to push, right? You need the boys, right? House of Cards, back when Spacey wasn't, someone that needs to stay away from playgrounds. Things like that, right? You got to have a reason for people to subscribe to your service, and they want to push Game Pass. They know they want first party. Xbox fans win no matter what, as David Jaffe recently said on GameOnDaily.com. It was an interesting show. You get it in Game Pass for free, or if it's timed exclusive, you still get it there if you're one of those people that really needs it to be that way, or it's a completely exclusive to Xbox, and you can only get it on Xbox, and it's in Game Pass. You win no matter what, honestly. Even if they go to PlayStation Day and Date, like I'll finish my thought, even if they go to PlayStation Day and Date, you still get these games in Game Pass for a ridiculous value if you want to rent them, right?
Yeah, and that's something he mentioned. He mentions Game Pass like 7 times in that write-up. And he even says that iconic gaming...
Zucker, can you find a quote or something?
Yeah, he says, publisher of iconic gaming franchises will expand Xbox's diverse portfolio on Xbox Game Pass. That's the headline. Like, right. not Xbox Game Studios or not Xbox, blah, blah, blah. Xbox Game Pass. That's the big put. That's the thing that they really want to talk about. It's it's being pushed. Like, we already know, like, Aaron Greenberg on this show, Game Pass. Larry Herb, Game Pass. Everybody, like, they know that Game Pass is a massive success, and they know people love it, and we're getting all those games on there. So it's like, yeah, I do agree that, like, we are kind of spoiled because we're talking about games not going to another platform, and yeah, we have Xbox, and we're getting these games no matter what. It doesn't matter. Like, we don't have to worry about not playing these games. Like, that's the point. We're going to be playing them, and you can play them interchangeably on your ecosystem through PC or Xbox. It doesn't matter.
I gotta say though, Game Pass is, man, it's such a fantastic service. And you're right, this just makes it even better. And regardless of what they're gonna do in the future, if that odd title is gonna trickle through, Starfield needs to be announced as an exclusive on the Xbox platform. I guarantee you, if they make that announcement this week or whenever they're gonna make it, that will definitely shift a lot of gamers towards the Xbox brand, and you'll see some people going out and getting the console. I think they need to.
Or they'll just play it on a PC.
Well, yeah, like all these guys have the high end PC. Like, come on, let's just get real here.
Yeah, everybody's got a high end rig now, 3090, everything.
That's ridiculous. You can't even get cards, so let's just stop it. Yeah, but realistically, I think they just need to make that announcement that, hey, this game is coming exclusive to the Xbox platform, and I think that'll shut down a lot of these naysayers, and it'll send a message that, hey, if you want to play these games from these studios, you're going to have to invest in an Xbox or, in the
your cell phone or your computer or whatever. Like Ermi, by the way, he says, some journalist frauds immediately block criticisms. Bunch of he's basically saying, like, look, guys on Twitter that are working with these big outlets, they block you the second you have any criticism with things they say, which we'll get into after this topic. There's definitely an interesting quote. He says, screw these guys, dealer. Thank you. I mean, again, I think it's okay to disagree. I don't think you should get blocked instantly unless you're attacking or just flat out fucking lying about some stuff. But again, I get it. Fruity Pebbles, I meant Colt. I'm sorry, Colt.
Fruity Pebbles. I
Fruity
love it.
Pebbles. But seriously, I mean, we've acknowledged the fact that these things should be exclusive. We've acknowledged the deals that are signed before the whole Bethesda thing that have to go to PlayStation. We'll do so, and the rest will go to Xbox, and they will do things as we've talked about. We've also acknowledged the fact that it could be a 6-month or year window. They could do a lot of different things. My point is, you win no matter what through the value of Game Pass if that's your thing, right? So, yeah.
It's true. But, it makes me wonder what kind of deal they struck with Bethesda or with, the ZeniMax purchase. Like what,
they have all of it.
Was there something that they put inside their contract that said, hey, we're going to, make Elder Scrolls remain multiplat or,
no, not
Starfield will go to PlayStation. We don't know
when,
these details at all.
I think the only thing that really comes with deals like that is who stays on. Right, like I think a couple people have talked about in the industry, like something
Todd
like
Howard.
Todd Howard needs to stay on for 5 to 6, 10 years. And to be honest, they probably have a thing in there where Phil Spencer needs to stay on. People have a great relationship with him, like a lot of the top people there.
I could tell you something that's true. They asked Phil during the deal if he was going to stay on for the course. They wanted Phil on. So just like you said, you brought up a very real answer to that. It just matters who's there. So I think in a case like Elder Scrolls, that you're just waiting on press releases now. Before the day before that press release, nobody knows. And if you're talking about Elder Scrolls, that could be through 2 years down the line, and a lot's could change. I'm sure. What I think has to happen is, they're going to, let's say they do it case by case and they do Starfield exclusive. If that gets a real big jumps in the analytics, which it probably will, then I think that the guys at Bethesda will definitely be like more buying into the fact of having everything on Xbox. I think that though, for the most part, if you just look at it from an outside perspective, it just makes sense to, be real smart with this one. I mean, listen, if you're going to make it timed exclusive, do it. You announce it a year later when nobody cares, and that's your press release. You got to be smart like that. Like Sony's very good like that. Yeah. A lot of it's playing the ebbs and flows.
Sony. Generations, that whole thing.
And they're good.
No, we're only making games for the PS5, and they come back a couple of months later. Oh, yeah, those games are going to PS4 too. It's like what?
Yeah. I mean, so it's great.
Bonds.
I love it.
And let me get a few super chats here. I haven't gotten any of these. Sackboy, big day. The big day Bethesda still will be on PlayStation? ? Yep. In his opinion, he does believe so. Psychonaut, somebody's taking some baby aspirin. Shout out to everyone on the panel. Shout out to you, Cybernut. He says, shout out to everyone in the chat. Best damn Xbox podcast. Let's go. I'm glad it's your opinion, brother. Thank you very much for tuning in and checking it out. We've also got Cody. He says, using the word most just would have. Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things where, again, the word most.
Case of some of most.
Yeah. Psychonaut says Dark CMF. We've also got the itch. I don't know, the Ike. He said, stream on Xbox happen now. I'm not sure what that means. The Dark CMF, he does say, everyone use extra caution. Basically knowing about the internet today, we don't want any slipping on the saw. Yeah, that's something that's going to happen no matter what. But he does say, yeah, he doesn't want anyone to get hurt out there. I'm not too worried about it. KY Bob says the video montages Bethesda put up today were fire. Oh, that's all right. They did put up something today. Pretty interesting. He says they got a little choked up with the influx of memories.
Later. Oh, yeah, those games.
The fuck?
Come on, world.
I don't know.
Yeah, they did something that probably not a lot of people noticed.
Hang on, we gotta find out who's echoing here. Who's got it? Which one of y'all's watching All My Children, huh? Tell the truth.
Which one of you is about to rob somebody?
Hey, KY Bob, he finishes up by saying, growing up with the Bethesda titles, some of the flashbacks got him choked up. He says, shout out to the panel, greatest Xbox show anywhere. Thank you very much. Another one. Go ahead, Tim.
No, it was weird. It was weird echo.
Yeah, it's like someone's watching the show. Ashtray says, existing deals, games, DLC will be everywhere. Anything new will be exclusive. That's definitely a possibility, brother. And then, last one for now, Michael. He does say, I bet Indiana Jones Deathloop, and Ghostwire. They are the only games going to PlayStation. Indiana Jones, is that going to PlayStation? Or?
That
I
could
don't
be
think so.
true. That, but I understand that take because when you're dealing with
Because it's a
Indiana
license, they had to
Jones,
license it.
yeah, you're dealing with something that's a loop, and I don't think fans would go crazy. I think fans would go crazy about Elder Scrolls. I agree with Fonzarelli 100% on that.
Yeah, they didn't go crazy over Spider-Man
Needs
being
to.
only on PlayStation, but I'll tell you what, they're going to throw a fit about Indiana Jones.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
but
I don't.
it'll
No,
be
there's a
it'll,
double
it won't be
standard.
as hard. It won't be as hard as like Elder Scrolls will be like big.
This is Forza Horizon 4 on Series X, by the way, guys. Streamed at 1080p, horrible bitrate, of course, but it looks amazing. Shout out to 2,300 people watching us live, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't. Let's try to get up over 1,000 for the end of the show, and maybe tell a buddy or two. We're one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in the history of the world, and as many people as we reach, we can always reach more. There's so many more out there that don't know about us, so thank you very much. And I'll get one more super chat before we kind of bounce around here. Tony Art or Tony Stark RDX, I'll always call you that. He says Fallout Shelter 2 exclusive on Xbox and Starfield multiplat. Eyeball emoji is funny. Yes, that's who knows? That's a possibility. Fallout Shelter, Jesus. I don't know. Nobody else. I mean, honestly, that's my take. I think that they're going to use these big games to draw you in. Maybe the current ones that they were already making in the middle of this deal would go somewhere else, but in the long term, this is exactly what anybody would seemingly think they would use and leverage for their service in the backdrop. That's how I feel. It's okay to have that opinion, I feel. Chat, let us know if you agree, disagree, what you think. But did everyone kind of get their point across?
Yeah.
Chat, did we miss any good points?
Good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's definitely some
really good.
debate back and forth about what we think will happen. I mean, but at the end of the day, we're acknowledging all possibilities and never locked anything in particular down because it could go a lot of different ways. I'm pretty confident, though, that in the long run, they'll definitely use these the way that Sony do, the way that everyone else does, unless it's MLB The Show, of course.
Where the Disney Plus does.
Yeah,
Look at what they
Netflix,
do.
Hulu.
Look at what they do
I
with
guess-
their. You follow the trends. I mean, you're not going to be the only an abnormality in that case. I mean, the fact of the matter is that if you can gain a subscriber that just subscribes to you, that's the way to get them in, and that's what keeping it exclusive does. It just gets people probably who weren't in your system before. It gets them in, and just overall, the popularity and the word of mouth of this is going a long way. People, Xbox is no longer a joke. The VCR, a meme. Or,
Well, to some people.
to some, but it's really losing. It's like if you're gonna be real about it, you're gonna say Xbox has this shit together because they do.
Well, I mean, if we look at MLB The Show, I guess Jim Ryan should say most studios are making exclusives, right?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? As a troll.
Jim Loose Lips, right?
Yep.
Fonz, would you happen to have a clip of him in your new mixer?
It's interesting, isn't it?
He does.
He had that ready to go.
He did. He had his finger on it. He's playing
He
with it.
had it, dude. He was waiting.
He's good at that.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
the thing is like I couldn't. I was scrolling through the show because I didn't know if I was even coming through. Like my setup, I was trying to fix it on the fly. So I'm sorry for the echo, but no, I don't have my finger on it. It's just easy to get to.
It's okay.
So
We like it. I like it.
Fonz, he likes it. Great video
Fonz.
today, Fonz.
Let's get Fonz a job at a radio station.
Yeah,
Come on now.
I thought you were
You
going to
gotta
say Radio
take-
Shack.
definitely. So, I mean, Tim, in regards to Thursday, is there anything you want to say at all?
I think
Well, the
yeah,
odds
I-
of something happening there.
good. I think we're gonna get more clarity on the whole subject. I think what I gather is, listen, if you follow Jeffrey Grubb, I think he knows actually.
He's coming on next week, by the way.
Yes, and he's coming on next week. He knows. That guy knows. And you follow his tweets, you can kind of get the flavor. He's saying that they left the door open in regards to all that stuff. But I think that he's the one that said that the Thursday event was the first to report on it. He knew about it. He had it as his docket as an event. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more clarity. So just stay tuned for that.
Or they might just announce Game Pass games. A lot of Bethesda
Yeah,
games coming to
they're
Game
going to do
Pass.
that. They're going to do that. But yeah, I think you'll get some clarity. clarity on the exclusive situation for sure.
Hey, I gotta
They,
give a
they
big
gotta be
shout-
blind not to see what's going on right now.
I got to give a big shout out to Nick from from Xbox Era. He's in the chat.
Shout
He
out
owes
to
me
Nick.
$5 for saying shout out to Nick on the air. So you can, $5, or you can send me one of those Dairy Queen coupons you have.
Is that Ed?
Yeah, it's Ed in the chat. Yeah,
Shout out to Ed.
yeah, he's hassling me. He
He says
he's
on
giving me a
air,
hard
Colt.
time.
On air. Come on.
He says
Come
on
on,
there.
Colt.
Come on. Yeah, so he's going to give me one of those little coupons from McDonald's for those little kid-sized cones or something. So,
Hey,
something nice.
I just want to talk real quick about the hypocrisy. I saw Post Up. He posted something. Shout out to Post Up.
Yeah,
He
shout out
posted
to
on
Post.
Twitter. He said he said ponies. Sony buying ZeniMax. Phil, welcome Zeni to Xbox. Ponies, please keep Zeni games on PS. Phil, can't say until merge. Ponies, Bethesda games are trash, buggy, low rated anyways. Phil, some future titles will be exclusive to Xbox PC. Ponies, y'all games coming to PS5. Like the hypocrisy, man. Like you know that it's a big deal when these guys are just like freaking out, man. They're freaking out at the thought of these games being exclusive to Xbox, and I think that's good for their plan in Game Pass. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, do you remember
everything.
these guys were saying Gears of War 5 was coming? They were saying the same thing about Gears coming to the PlayStation back then.
Yeah.
Didn't they
Halo
say
Infinite.
Gears was 3 hours long?
And they
Yeah.
said that, they ran with everything. They ran with everything.
I don't want to toot our own horns here, but I'm gonna do it. We've been saying this for months. Like we've been saying this for years, even. We're always the first to tell people how it is, and they always give us so much slack and grief and clog up our Twitters, and it always turns out to be true. We told you guys that the games are coming to PlayStation games are coming to PC, and we were laughed at and ridiculed. And guess what? The games are coming to PC. We said that. PlayStation's going to have a Game Pass like-ish service. They're heading towards that. They signed a deal with Microsoft to use their cloud servers.
I mean,
So,
it goes all the way back when we were saying that there's going to be ray tracing in the systems. It's thing after thing after thing after thing that we were nuts on, right? So, yeah, I mean, again, it's one thing to sit there and not know what was said and say people were wrong, but to sit there and try to put your thoughts out there, like a lot of guys in the chat are right now. It's something that, can be fun, but it's stressful. It can be stressful.
Everyone is pumped.
Immortal Jedi, by the way, says, it's what Phil didn't talk about, really, that got his interest. xCloud is a separate platform. I guess you could definitely refer to that. Microsoft has pushed xCloud and no mention in the blog. So that's kind of interesting. He says what Phil meant by some games. I expect some games to be on PlayStation because they already got deals anyway, right? Or the little dinky games or whatever they don't deem as kind of a draw to Game Pass. I mean, think about it. I just don't understand this. Like, Tim, if you've got a Lamborghini and I have I'm collecting cars and you have this one Lamborghini and I need it. Like, I really want this Lamborghini. You're like, no, you got to join my car club and you can drive it. I'm like, okay, this is a weird analogy, but all right, I'll fucking Fruity Pebbles join your car club and I'll drive this. I'm seriously, there's no real way around it. You want to grow your car club if that's your goal. You want to grow Game Pass if that's your goal. You don't want to have a bad analogy like that if that's your goal. I don't know. Shout out to Ed.
Yeah, shout out to Ed from
Shout out to Ed.
Xbox Era.
I'm going to go ahead and
Hey,
whatever.
Dealer, if Sony bought Bethesda and ZeniMax, what would your assumption be for every game moving forward?
Like I said from the beginning, the ones that already have deals and they got to go to PlayStation, that was what the contract said, just like Outer Worlds. Remember, Matt Booty came out and said Outer Worlds 2 not coming to PlayStation. They came out and said that sequels to some of these other games, Ninja Theory, not going to PlayStation. The trend is there. Now, I don't understand why it's so hard to see.
I think people just make up their own rules.
One of the things, though, to take about, I just want to make this point, too. Somebody brought it up to me, and I actually thought it made a lot of sense, was the fact that, what the hell? I think I lost my train of thought.
Pretty bad.
No, it's about, the fact that the third party, like they might have a deal in the future that's with a publisher, and there might be games that are not exclusive. I think people would be much more open to that versus this. So maybe with his wording, he didn't want to scare off one of those publishers, because I could think if they buy a guy like Pandora Box or something, like those games, they're smaller or whatever, but I could see them possibly being a multi-release or a timed release.
I don't understand that logic, honestly. Like scaring off like studios are not going to get scared off from.
No, but you know
like
what
here's
I'm saying.
Tens of millions or hundreds
Right.
of millions of dollars.
They don't want to. They don't want anything to be pushed upon them or whatever. You know, they want to have that open.
Hold
feel.
on.
They
there's
want
something-
open creativity of their
Right.
game. Not
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what? You want to go on this platform? You know, I just can't make the game if it's not on here. They're not going to give a shit about that. They're going to care about,
Well, that's where
do we
we
get
are with
funding?
Bethesda.
Yeah, I don't think Bethesda cares if their
Do you
game
think
is
they
on
care?
PlayStation.
I think some care. To be
Well,
honest, I would be
Bethesda
honest.
doesn't care if their games are on PlayStation. What they care the most about is that their game reaches as many people as it can. They want to see a studio like Bethesda doesn't want to see. They're already getting paid for the deal because they're working
Sure.
with Xbox, right? So what Bethesda wants more than anything is when they put out Starfield, they want to be able to say, you know, 12 or 13 million people played our game or bought our game, right? And so if they're not on PlayStation, they miss out on 4 to 5 million possible sales. And those are just guesses for numbers. I'm looking at some big huge multi-plats can sell like 5 to 6 million a piece on each Xbox or PlayStation. So if they decide, oh, Starfield's not going on PlayStation because of this new deal with Xbox, dealer catching air in this race is awesome. Then Bethesda has to think, okay, we need a metric to gauge the success of our game. And then they're back to that whole thing, like 14 million people played Starfield in the first 2 weeks. Woo! Right? But they're getting paid either way. I just don't really know if they care if they're on PlayStation.
Do you know why I don't think they give a crap about like the platform? Because Bethesda did threaten to take their games years ago off Steam. And they said that they were going to leave it and do their own launcher. That shows that they actually do understand what exclusivity means and taking things away, right? Because they would take things away from back when Fallout 4 came out. Like there was a big thing where developers took their games off of Steam because they were mad at Steam. And then developers realized, like, holy cow, running a launcher is actually pretty damn expensive. Because it requires a lot of database.
Yeah, I kept saying Steam over and over when we bring this up for months, forgetting that Bethesda has their own launcher. So the likelihood would be the game would be on Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, and the Bethesda launcher, and then they would be in xCloud for game streaming to Android and iPhone devices.
They don't need to be on the launcher anymore. They'll just be on Xboxes, and Xbox and them can work together to bring their launchers together and use that. Like again, it's all software, right? That Xbox owns.
I mean, I would assume they would continue to release on their launcher. People are building a library there as well. I mean, everyone who's on PC has 8 launchers. I don't care who you are. You have at least 6 or 8 launchers.
I think that's part of the deal. Bethesda works as it was. Phil's been very good with hands off. He's more just like I think that he believes in he believes people should have free creativity. He doesn't get involved. I think it's more money with him. Or the handling of that. The case is that I think Bethesda is going to run. I think Peter Hines has so much power over Bethesda right now that he's like one of their top guys. Like he's the guy that is behind that. So what they do is they do a great job. So you just want to let them keep doing what they do. I don't think that they'll even care about the exclusivity that much. Like you said, Zorker, you bring up very good points about how they, it's all they understand exclusivity. So I think that they can come to understand all of this too. But like I said, I think they're going to run the same, and they're going to do the same shit even more than what they would have been doing.
Let me give a shout out to Rick Payne real quick, and we'll go to Fonz. He says, over 2,000 people watching. Hit that like button, scallywags. Thank you very much, Fonzarelli. What were you going to do? Let's sum this up.
I just think that, we should really just end this subject or this topic with just saying that this is a fantastic thing. I mean, it's awesome. The deal is done, and now we don't have to, speculate on, is it going to go through or not? I mean, some people were worried about those lawsuits and stuff. Man, this Bethesda acquisition or ZeniMax, you know, everything under the umbrella there is just amazing. It's awesome. It's great for competition. It's great for gaming, and that's the thing that we have to really focus on. Is that no matter what, this is great for gaming. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and people that were wondering, what do you mean? Like the deal is done? They already thought the deal was done. Now there were basically they had to get the stuff passed legally, right? Because there were concerns about competition, et cetera, blah blah blah. And yeah, so it's 100% done now. And Tim is suggesting that you will hear more soon about maybe some more clarity. Again, we will have Jeff Grubb on the show next week. I've enjoyed just having the panel on, honestly. So it's nice when we get a guest back in and kind of get some other insight, perhaps.
Oh, by the way, dealer, I'm still trying to get Jim back. So
Jim, yes,
he may come back. I'm trying to lure him in with a box of Fruity Pebbles. He may show up.
Ooh,
so.
box of Fruity Pebbles. Shout out to Noof Nukem, Titan Drago. Some of those guys, I was in a party with them the other day. It was hilarious. But yeah, again, if you're watching live, guys, maybe hit the like button. Let's get up closer to 1,000 for the end of the show. Tell a buddy or two, retweet it, subscribe, all that good stuff. Almost 2,500 people watching live. Thank you very much for what you do. As we move forward, and on Tim, I'm coming right back to you because McCaffrey, apparently, I mean, this is something a lot of people are really, really aggravated with. Said something really, really Fruity Pebble stupid. Like, what did he say? And kind of, did you have a back and forth with this guy? What's going on?
Oh, what? You talking about my fight today where the guy cursed at me and blocked me?
Oh, shit. He blocked you?
Yeah. He
Oh, my
me
God.
Immediately.
I don't have nothing against the guy, but yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Today was to take a bad day, takes, I think. I think
what did he say?
What happened was I was reading. Listen, I know the guy I started noticing the guy when he was talking about Sony, like money hatting all these, games and how it's going to be insane and how people are going to be like, wow. He didn't bring up any of this, it's bad for gaming stuff. So he had like a derogatory tweet about Xbox, about how they celebrated. It was just like a half-assed, real like comment with a bad take, like, and then he's like, you should worry about, big takeovers and, he's like, peacocking all the stupid stuff. What I didn't like,
bad takeovers. Is that what he said?
Yeah, I don't know. Just you can read he's a pretty popular guy. And then I can't because I'm blocked. And then what pissed me off was that he a good guy on Twitter, Joe Sinister, pointed out basically what he was like. What about you like going crazy? And acting like everything, not batting an eyelash over, any of the things that Sony did that was like money hatting and stuff like that. And then he quoted him, and his comment just was real. I just felt like he tried to belittle him, and I was just like, all right, this guy's getting it. So I just quote tweeted him, and I just basically, I got his first comment was, what the F are you talking about? And then he said he tried to make his case. But I was just roasted him. I'm like, I just totally obliterated this guy. And then he just was like, he knew he had no chance. So he just blocked me. He didn't even want to talk it out or anything. But sometimes you see stupid stuff. And then the other stupid bad take that pissed me off was Ryan McCaffrey's I want to axe grounded in a vow so we can work under another studio and do this.
Oh my gosh!
No,
he said that they should kill Grounded and take the team off of Outer Worlds 2
and do the Bethesda New Vegas 2
and put everybody on Elder Scrolls 6.
New Vegas
that's
2.
not good.
So I was
That
just
doesn't sound good.
so I just had to put him up, and he's supposed to be the positive Xbox guy, and that comment just totally took me off, but. As far as the guy, he's supposedly the Xbox guy on IGN. I don't really think he's like a Jason Schreier type thing. I just
no, it's weird coming from him.
He took a bad take, and maybe I accentuated it. But he does seem like an okay guy. I'm not, like I said, I'm not putting him in the Jason class. Jason's just another. He just thinks
all Sony games will be exclusive. Jason's right.
He just has a hate for Xbox. But anyway, so yeah, that was my day, and I'm still reeling from it, and it's been fun.
So Ryan McCaffrey
Playing
said to
from it.
shut down Grounded and Avowed, and then just make
Just-
Fallout 76 too.
He didn't say to
Yeah.
shut down Avowed. He said
Well,
take,
it's an axe. He said stop. He's like kill Grounded.
he said kill Grounded and get the Outer Worlds team off of that and put them on Elder Scrolls 6 to get it out. So it would come out
That's a
in the
bad
series
take.
Xbox Series generation. So he has good intentions at heart for Elder Scrolls to come out to Xbox faster.
Right.
But I think he also is expecting that game would come to PlayStation. So he's kind of serving both camps. But then
What about Grounded though? Grounded is such a pop. It really is a popular.
Grounded
game.
is a great little game, and 14 people working on it. You take 14 people
know.
off a game, you can't throw more employees at a game and take a year off of development. You can
14. Put them on.
No, I
that
mean,
other
you could
game.
he could take all of the Outer Worlds team off and 14 people from Grounded and put them on Elder Scrolls 6, and fast tracking a game to get it out for that purpose is not a good idea.
So he did
It's a good
say
idea to
shut
let
down
them.
Avowed, though, correct? He did say shut that down.
No,
Yeah,
he did
shut
not.
down Avowed is the
No.
worst.
You have to look up. It's not good to quote people
Zucker.
incorrectly.
No, I know what you're saying, but that's the gist of it. The Grounded part was the part that got me. I mean, listen, that's just a brain dead take. That's a brain dead take. I mean,
let me
and this is the
read it
Xbox
because-
guy. I mean, I like him, but you know, I don't know. That's just
Let me read it.
that's laughable.
Let me read
Read
it.
that. Let's read
Tim's
it.
going on.
Let me read it because people misquote us all the time and try to drag us through the mud with their little,
Yeah, that's
their
good.
little
Just read it.
He
Read
says
it,
kill
read it.
Grounded and whatever the Outer Worlds team is on, merge them into one team and co-develop Elder Scrolls 6 with Bethesda. Todd Howard executive produces. Have Obsidian get the ball rolling while the Avowed team keeps going and
Oh,
Bethesda Game Studios finishes Starfield.
Gotcha.
So it's
Okay,
not a
so-
horrible take, but it's just like to stop these games from production. Actually, the whole point is Phil said we're not going to interfere with any of these studios, let alone Obsidian,
Mhm.
and they're not going. And in his press release, said we're not going to interfere with what Bethesda is doing. That's what the whole statement when he said, I'm not going to look it up, but he said we're going to let them continue to function as they
Yeah,
do.
as
He
they
means
do.
let them build their games the way they want to build them because they've been successful doing that for 25 years. He doesn't mean let them continue to put a game on PlayStation because PlayStation's huge. It's this double standard just gets super annoying. People don't
Yeah.
step back and look at how things work. They
Well-
think what's going to be best for me, and I'm going to use confirmation bias to say these games are coming to PlayStation.
And more people does not necessarily mean a project is going to come together. It might come together quicker, but doesn't mean it's going to be better or as good as it would have been with a more creative.
Actually,
smaller
dealer,
team.
there is such a thing as too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's
so
facts.
it could even get worse.
True.
Shout out to Horace. He's talking. I don't know. That's getting close, Horace.
It's just a weird thing. It's really
Armchair
weird
armchair
thing.
developers popping
Well,
out, huh?
Well,
Yep.
he won the. I said I put a poll up. It was him. I put myself in it. I put Dan Stapleton in it, and then I put Ryan McCaffrey, and he was winning by like 4. He was winning 40. A lot of people thought his take was absolutely ridiculous.
I mean,
I
Ryan
mean-
McCaffrey has been known to say some stuff that's like, what? Like, he
Yeah.
talked about, like, I think Sony signed like a deal. He's like, hey, that's what they do. They get people to want to go on their
No,
platform.
yeah, they had 2 tweets that were
Well, notably,
totally
the
under the
cross-gen
spectrum.
thing, doing Halo Infinite in because of the visuals, but then it comes out that they release new screenshots and are overhauling it with more time, and it looks drastically better already, basically debunking the cross-gen stuff and all that stuff. I don't know. I just I don't know the guy. I have nothing against him.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked him to come on a show once. He said, I have my own Xbox podcast. I do believe that was what his reply was. So that kind of made me think a little differently. But again, I don't take it personal. I think it's an interesting take, especially when you're talking about Xbox needing more IP, etc. Grounded has 5 million players, King in the chat was saying. So, I mean, that's not bad. That's definitely not bad. It's not
I would
bad.
No.
I
For
would've
14 developers?
14
I would've made-
developers.
I would have made fun of the game, but I've been playing it with my son, and every time we play, we have a good time.
It's a beloved game. It's
It's a totally
very
different
beloved.
game, and they keep improving things and changing things. Like you build stuff and move it, and like it's like quality of life things. Like I don't know, it's not everybody's game, but to call it, to make fun of it, is kind of weird.
It's just kind of like not realized. I mean, I think Grounded has still a ton of potential because of the way the game is, the way it gets better. It's like Sea of Thieves. It has that it's gonna have that lore to get you back in, and I just feel that they're just gonna keep updating. They're gonna have the if you look at their what they want to do, they want to have a pond, they want to have all types of stuff, rain they want. I think that the game is just getting better and better, and it's a beloved game. It's like if you took that game and did what they did, there would be, like I said, that's the way you make the platform hater. Like that he was once a good guy, loved your product, but you killed Grounded on him, and he never forgave you. Like that's the type of game Grounded is. I feel like it's a really beloved game. It's a very good game, and it's not even out of preview. So getting to watch too.
It's unique. It's not like another unique shooter. It's something a little bit different, and again, it's not quite up my alley, but it's something that's I could play. I have a little bit of co-op fun with. Immortal Jedi has a quote that I want to sum this up with. That again, a lot of people just look past this when Phil says, "I don't have to go ship all these games on any other platform other than the platforms that they have in order to do well with these games, these Bethesda titles." I mean, again, Jedi is spot on. That's a quote for people to remember just as much as some other ones that I guess they want to hang on to more than like the guy saying first or best or whatever on Xbox. That made no sense from the get-go. They like to hang on to that stuff, but we'll forget Phil's quotes here and there. And it always helps to have a little bit of insight behind the scenes with all this stuff. So again, chat, let us know your thoughts on that. Don't go attacking McCaffrey and that stuff. We never ever want anybody to do that kind of stuff. But again, I'll sum up the Bethesda stuff with Phil's one of his main quotes from that today. This is the first crap. Of course it moved. Of course it went all the way up. Let me find it 1 sec. He says that this is the first step in building an industry-leading first-party studio team, basically a commitment that we have to the Xbox community. That's from Phil. And a lot of you wouldn't probably know that because you've been bombarded with a bunch of crap that
other people said.
Yeah, basically. Again, shout out to everyone watching live. Hit the like button if you haven't. Share it out. I got to do this 47 times. There's a machine with a rock. It's going to bash me in the back of the head if I don't do this. Miles from Windows Central ended up just stating something in a video, right? Just we were talking to Miles in a party, and it was pretty aggravated by the amount of outlets like comic book and stuff that we're running with this. Just because Miles is from Windows Central, very reputable team, him and Jess Gordon. But yeah, he shuts down some of these things regarding From Software and all this exclusivity stuff. Colt, can you kind of sum that up?
I mean, I don't know much about it other than he's a really good guy, and he had heard some things and just made a statement, and everyone wrote about it because, like you said, he's got credentials.
Miles Dumpier.
Yeah, what a great guy.
He said it in a podcast, and it was like the main rumor came from like Reddit, and he was just like, yeah. Then after he said, oh yeah, Xbox might be working with From Software on a new game, he put right after that, he was like, but it's probably like has no credibility, or it's probably not legitimate, is what he said. Mm-hmm. And then it proceeded to just blow up everywhere. Like people were reporting on it, like Insider, Miles Dump. Like they're just like, and then I actually talked to him too in DMs, and I was like, hey, here you're an insider, and he's like, dude. So I was just trolling the guy. I was like, no. I was like, no, you called it. It's confirmed, and just messing with him. But I felt bad for the guy because he got a lot of messages, and people need to sometimes chill. Like some people are just saying some stuff because they read something on Reddit. Doesn't mean it's like confirmed. They don't say it's confirmed. Like just relax,
Yeah,
I know.
And they cut off his statement right before he said, obviously the disclaimer.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't legitimate. And then if you look at the articles, they never put that in there. They, like a lot of the articles didn't put in
shitty.
Yeah, they cut it off. Like he says this and then end the quote. And it's like, but wait a minute. Like
you get mad at him. They're like, this isn't good journalism. And then they do even worse.
Yeah, that's like, come on.
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
Miles is cool as hell. And he's a pirate legend, so
now now you explained to me what happened because I read that and I thought he said that. I'm like, there's no way Miles was talking like that. And then I just heard this story, so yeah, it's pretty funny how like a doctored clip, or not even a clip that doesn't tell the whole story can be interpreted in a total different way.
Yeah, especially
and
when
people are crazy about this. People are crazy about From Software too. Like you could know it's probably made up if it's about From Software right now or stuff like that. That's the way I look at that stuff.
The way I looked at it, and I actually talked about it in a video, is that I think a lot of people saw it as like, because the beginning of the Xbox One and PS4 generation, everybody was like, Bloodborne is the greatest game to come out. Like it is and it was really highly rated and probably the best exclusive out there for years, for a little while. So a lot of people were really high up on it, and now this, From Software has obviously made an exclusive game, so they're obviously open to it. That's why people were like, "Oh, if Xbox gets one of their own with like a new IP, that would be insane." So yeah, it's like a little bit of the fanboyism coming out and people wanting it.
Ermi, by the way, he has a good quote from Jim Ryan. He says, "Jim, PlayStation fans can't sustain us anymore." Which is what he basically said, which is fine. We told you guys this is coming years ago. So, I mean, no skin on our backs, right? We're not surprised. A lot of people are caught off guard by that. I feel like that was pretty obvious. But yeah, some people didn't see that, right? So, again, chat, let us know what you think about that as we move along to the next topic. Not to Miles Lampierre, but yeah, what is this deal with, real quick, this is a quick one. Evil Within 2 is basically rumored to be going to Game Pass. It's got enhanced to 60 FPS on Series X. Auto HDR looks good. I played a little bit of it. Are there any other ones that are supposed to be coming, Colt? Tim, anybody's been like living on Twitter?
Yeah, lots.
He said lots. Basically, since the deal closed today, you're saying that there's going to be a lot of Bethesda games.
Yeah, I think Thursday you'll find out about. I think anything that hasn't been on there, Dishonored, Wolfenstein, the first one, Wolfenstein 2, they'll put on again, possibly. You might see everything. Why not?
I think the big push is going to be. I think the big push is like, because a lot of it's been on there, like Dishonored 2's on there, a couple of it's been on there, like a little of the ESOs have been on there for console.
Prey's ever been on there?
Yeah, for Prey, but those are more console. I think it's going to be a big push on the PC form of Game Pass because they want more games, because there's way more games on the console version. Like there's just like if you browse the PC version versus the Xbox version, you could just see that Xbox has like just a way bigger library, to be honest. Like they just have better games and on there, and they want PC to get up there. So I see them I could see them pushing PC a lot, because I play on both, and so I always look at what's new coming to PC because I like playing them. Like I'm playing Doom Eternal again, but on my PC. So yeah, I just see them doing that.
Well, Zucker, I mean, have you tried Evil Within 2? Chad, have you tried Evil Within 2?
No, I've never actually played Evil Within 1 or 2. I've never played those games. I just didn't. I don't know why. Just never did.
Yeah, Snake Eye says he's got to play it ASAP. You didn't know that. 60 FPS. Go ahead, Tim.
I'd like one of you to double back your point. One of the complaints from PC Game Pass, there's actually fans that are just PC Game Pass, that they want the games that the console's getting, and they're not getting them.
Yeah,
they're being treated like a second port citizen. I think Xbox is recognizing that portion too, or I've heard they want to work in that area where they make it pretty much everything's all the same, whether it be making a game from an Xbox studio like Age of Empires 4, you're expected to put it on console, or this type of stuff. If you're going to put a game on PC or on console, put it on with PC day and date, certain stuff like that. So, they're going to do it. That's where I'm going with it.
They promise a lot of things, like EA Play still not on Game Pass and PC. And in
Why?
EA,
what's the hold up there?
I would assume it's something on the back end. I would assume it's something like with the launcher and getting all the games on there and it running, according to the plan on PC through their launcher. That's the only thing I can think of that would do it. Or maybe they messed up on the deal, like wording wise, but who knows? I know that because if you look at like the games coming to PC, like every month has been stacked. Like it's actually been like kind of insane. Like I'm playing Dirt 5, the Medium, all this stuff on my Xbox. And then we're getting Star Wars Squadrons, Madden, all this on Xbox, while the PC version is not getting all that. Like, obviously, it doesn't matter to us because we play on the Xbox and PC. But I just, if you're just a PC person that's subscribed to it for $10 a month, like you kind of feel like, hey, you said all this crap is coming and it's not here. That's something they really need to address, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point, Zucker. Shout out to Failed Pyromancer, Ermi, Rue. We've also got Tyrone, the Big Plume, still in here. Papa Smurf, Snake Eyes, all you guys trying to give some shout outs to guys that didn't make it to Super Chat or anything like that. Again, let me jump back in and get a few of these. Nano Polymath says, one lies with false statements of belief and generations only to backtrack. We know he's talking about loose lips right there. The other says, well, some. I mean, honestly, it's not a massive deal. He says he knows who he trusts. Game on Daily. Shout out to Asa of Game on Daily. He says all the Bethesda games are going to be exclusive to just one streaming service. We can all, that's actually a good point. xCloud, right? And Stadia, of course. xCloud.
Why is it such an issue for him, for Phil Spencer to say some with this? It's really dumb. Like, I don't know why people are taking offense to that or saying that he's a liar because he said that.
He said the same thing he already said. Like, how's this?
It's weird. Yeah, it's like we already know this stuff. Like some games will be continued on PlayStation 5.
I think it's because most people would agree that some means less than most.
But it's just really weird to really take that and go, he's just as bad as Jim saying generations. And it's like, no, this is completely different.
It's not even comparable.
No, he didn't.
Nowhere near comparable.
Well, hang on though. We have somebody, good friend of ours, Kid Smooth. Shout out to his Series X. We can't get through a quarter. 10 minutes. This motherfucker's Fruity Pebbles box, bro's up at the jump ball in 2K. Like, his Series X will not play that game at all. But Kid Smooth says Sony will keep third-party games off Xbox in a heartbeat. Why is Xbox doing, basically making it easier for PlayStation games, Xbox games to get to PlayStation gamers? I don't know of any specific examples of that right now. But again, I would point to Phil's
examples.
Yeah, he says Sony will keep third-party games off Xbox in a heartbeat. Why is Xbox
Final Fantasy 7 remake and Final Fantasy 16, and like those are all like just regular multiplats. There's a bunch of games. Like PlayStation 4 era was notorious for grabbing games and they're never coming to Xbox.
Well, we will see.
So,
Jack in the Super Chat says the only games that will go to PlayStation are the ones that are already in development during the time of this deal. Yes, sir. We've talked about that as well. That's very interesting. BR7, Brad, he says, if Starfield was releasing on PlayStation, surely Sony could have made them exclusivity, some kind of exclusivity deal like they made with Ghost and Deathloop. Maybe. He says Xbox exclusive. Yeah, could be, definitely. Nordic says that Bethesda has and always has had a bigger audience on Xbox. There are numbers. Yeah, that's actually true. Todd Howard spoken at length about that. We've also got Psychonauts, again, last one for a minute. He says, if a Bethesda game does go on PlayStation, I bet that same game will have exclusive content or exclusive edition only on Xbox. Since Phil has said that the best place to play these games would be on Xbox. Shout out to you, Psychonauts. That could definitely be the case. And, yeah, go ahead, Fonz.
Regardless of, where these games go and everything, it's funny to me how, and regardless of how people are talking about this, if it's a negative or positive spin, in the end, it just goes to show you that this is a huge, massive deal. And people are speculating because a lot of people are worried that they might not get to play these games if they only have one console, that being the PlayStation 5. And the other, it's just those people just speculating, wondering, well, what's going to go to that other platform? What do I want to keep exclusive? It's just, this thing is just a massive deal. And all this negative talk and everything, it's funny to me that people are just worried. They're scrambling. And it's hilarious to me. And they act like, oh, I don't even like Bethesda games. It's like, yeah, okay. That's why you're doing whole podcasts on what's going to be exclusive, what's not.
Yeah.
It matters.
It's funny to me.
It matters.
People are shook.
They're proving it. They're proving it with. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't hear anything about it. They'd be like, who cares? But they're making a big deal out of it because these are big games. Like, there's a lot of studios within Bethesda. I got to be honest with you guys. Until the acquisition, I didn't realize how big they were and how many different umbrellas and like different games that they actually made. This is a big deal, and I think Game Pass is gonna bear the fruit of it, man. I'm excited.
They're dude. They're huge. Like they had their own E3 show every year and brought out 2 or 3 AAA games a year. Like, and not to mention, like, let's be real. Every time Bethesda Softworks brings out a game like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls, it's like a damn event. Like it's huge. Everybody, like it completely grabs the month of that gaming. Didn't like when Fallout 4 launched, didn't like all the games around it just get annihilated in sales because of it?
Yeah,
it was rough for everybody. I think that one of those was the Tomb Raider game that Xbox brought out right next to it or a week before it. Like Fallout killed it. Like it didn't kill it. It did well, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, it killed it.
It killed it.
It did good. It did good. Like it didn't do that bad, but it hurt. It definitely cut it.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. Like they
people were talking about that for the longest time too. They should have spaced those out, but that's like 2015 talk.
Well, exactly, 2015. But like even like every time, like when Elder Scrolls Skyrim came out, it's like an event. Like that studio is massive.
That's Peter Hines. So that's my takeaway is that guy he's the head of the PR. He's really good. He's
so is Todd Howard.
So is Todd Howard. Yeah, they got a bunch of those people, and their E3s were better than Xboxes now. If you're really being real about it.
Yeah, they were making a lot of. They're making a lot of cool games.
Fallout one. Remember the Fallout one was the biggest one.
Oh
where they showed the guy in the woods. With the blue suit. Hopefully we get one of those moments soon.
Dead Proof, by the way, just said something that I was thinking earlier. I think this could be. I mean, honestly, he's the only guy in the chat I've seen it. You reminded me of this. Dead Proof says, well, they might not be saying anything because it's free advertising, and you can basically keep speculating and talking about this deal, the games, all this stuff. I mean, believe it or not, that's a thing. So Bethesda games,
they got hype going. They got hype up to they have hype. I think this Thursday event will be very hyped, and I think a lot of people like today will have. I think it's going to be a day like today was pretty crazy, or at least for me, like it just blew up. But I think Tim. I think Thursday is going to be a telling day.
Yeah. Again, this has been said a million times on this show, but I think that people need to understand that, because I see some people in the chat saying, all these big games are still like Doom and Elder Scrolls, all these games are going to remain multi-plat. And it's like, what you got to understand is, and this is what they've been pushing for quite some time, Game Pass, okay? You have to understand Game Pass is, the main value of Game Pass is the fact that they get their first party games day and date. Now, if they went to another platform, what's the point of getting Game Pass? What's the point of buying an Xbox for Game Pass? They have to entice you. And just like Netflix, you have to have those exclusive, shows. You have to have these exclusive games. So you have to think about that.
Yeah, you could easily say, well, for $10 a month, I can get Game Pass on an Xbox. I get these games, or I can just pay $60 and own them on my PlayStation. And some people may say, well, it's worth it just to own them. I can have them for as long as I want if I decide to stop paying for Game Pass. Like that's
yeah, but the thing is,
that's the thing.
If it's not there for your PlayStation, then you're like, I got to buy an Xbox. So either I buy them on Xbox or I have Game Pass and get them on Game Pass.
I don't think they care about the fact that you need an Xbox. They care about the fact that why would you not want to be on Xbox Game Pass?
Right.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You could be on PC as well, and that it doesn't matter. My point is, at the end of the day, they're pushing Game Pass wherever it is. That's where they want you to play. So they need more games to entice people to Game Pass. So you have to really think about that. Those big Bethesda games and all those other games, Doom, everything. Those games need to be in Game Pass.
Shout out to the geeky nerd who basically is just taking everything he's taking everything as like a one-dimensional statement. Shout out, and seriously, I mean, I like the guy, but I'm noticing this a lot. He said, I thought it was a win either way, though. It's like, who said it wasn't a fucking win either way? Like, just because you're acknowledging a possibility or putting out someone's opinion from the chat In what
we
world
are-
is that? I don't
We are
understand.
one customer. It's a win for dealer
It's a
who
win for
has
everyone who
all
likes value, right?
Yeah, it's a win for someone who already has Game Pass. Yeah, obviously, but we're looking at the entire gaming community. We're looking at the people who get on Game Pass that go to Game Pass and grow Game Pass by making it something where I gotta have this. Like it's the same thing. Like, why do you buy a PlayStation 5 if you're not worried about exclusives? Like, it's the same thing. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
people
why does exclusivity matter with everything else except Microsoft? I mean, I
That's
don't
the
know.
problem.
Right.
You
That's the
know,
problem that I've been dealing with this past few days. Like, everybody's allowed to have exclusives. Nintendo and PlayStation hold all their stuff where you can only get it on one box, one place to play it. And Xbox is just not allowed because they haven't put out a lot of exclusive games. And
Well, let's be real. They're not allowed to even have a W, man. They can't get a win here, you know,
They could
without
get it
people just
Thursday.
talking crap.
if
It's
they
so
listen,
weird.
I think if they go right about it and they just say the right things, like you just be clear and be honest, in my opinion. I mean, that suits you. I mean, like, don't give things that you don't have to. But
well, where's the cutthroat
it-
bleeding edge marketing from Xbox to say like the only place to play the best games in the world is on the Xbox platform. Play on PC, Xbox consoles, and Xbox Game Pass. And we just added Bethesda Studios to make this the best place to play, and where you can only play these unique worlds only on Xbox. But instead Sony's doing that, but Xbox doesn't want to Xbox doesn't want to brag that they're holding PlayStation gamers or Nintendo Switch owners away from content. Like,
yeah, but you're playing a fine line when you're hardcore base and your fans are like this is not something that you really should be dabbling with. I mean, listen, the writing's on the wall. Everyone wants them to be exclusive. Just follow that, and you will be okay. You don't have to give me excuses to why now exclusives don't matter. The money that you get from the front end from those sales get far outweighed by just getting more people to subscribe to your service, to pay into your into play into where you're paying that's exclusive, for Bethesda to be in. If it starts to go to PlayStation and you start pushing it all out, people just, it's not as much value, in my opinion. It's a value proposition, and I just don't understand why Xbox wouldn't take the exclusive side of that, because I think it's a longer play, but it pays off. And if they don't get that, like, look at Disney Plus. You take Disney Plus and what happened with Netflix. Exclusivity matters.
Yeah, it's the only place to watch, WandaVision and Mandalorian, right? And when I look at Xbox, that they need to push that the ones that are the hardcore are, let's say, 20% of 100 million Xbox fans. Only 20% of those are the hardcore ones. Well, those are the ones whose voices you hear everywhere. They're the ones that buy everything Xbox puts out. They buy all the games. They buy the extra controllers. They buy every console that comes out. They pre-order the new headset, and they are the voice. And the same thing happens on PlayStation. They have 250 million PlayStation users across all of their consoles and PlayStation fans, and 20% of those fans are the hardcore loud voices on all of the forums, on social media. They're the ones that are buying everything. They have a rack of games at home. They support the brand, and Jim Ryan has shown that he listens to that 20%. He says, we're going to keep our games clean and pure. We're not going to put them all over the place because they're special and you only get them there and you don't have to share them with other people. He hasn't used those words, but he has that message.
No, but he pretty much,
and they eat it up. They eat it up, and
Xbox fans would eat it up too, to be honest. So
I just think it's weird because
here's Xbox's chance to do that.
People think that, honestly, that they're smaller games, whatever, Bethesda or anybody puts out that's small, those will stay exclusive to Xbox, but all the big games won't. It's a dumb idea. It's a dumb thought.
I think the reason why everyone questions is the nature of the company, because Bethesda, they're traditionally a multi-platform company they didn't really make too many games that were just exclusive to a platform. So that's why everyone is a little bit up in arms, because their favorite games that they expected to be multi-platform, most likely most of them are not going to be that way anymore. And I think this deal had to be structured in such a way too, because the heart, the heart of the company itself, like the soul of it, you don't want to break it as well, right? So you got to have some type of flexibility there for their creativity. So I don't know the things that happen behind the scenes. I just know it's a huge deal and it's freaking awesome for Xbox.
Yeah, it really is.
But isn't it win either way?
We burnt the show out on it, but it's great.
Don't we have other
Hey,
topics?
it's a huge topic, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what everybody's talking about. So
I was waiting for HDR and auto FPS boost on the.
Screw all that noise.
That's what we would be talking about if it was a no. We'd be like, yeah, it's
like,
great.
hey, did you check out the auto HDR and Evil Within 2? Yeah, great stuff. Let's talk about it for an hour.
I think I don't know. I guess to quadruple sum it up here. I mean, the fact is saying some of these titles will be exclusive. I mean, some, most, whatever, right? I mean, we all know that they leave as much wiggle room as possible, right? So they're going to say some, because technically it's true no matter if it's one or two. But yeah, at the end of the day, that statement there says so much more than I think people gloss over it. Like case by case, some games will be exclusive. Those two things by themselves go against people saying that the games are all coming to PlayStation 5. It's one of those things where people just double back, think on it. Not a big deal. It is what it is. We've given our opinions on it. And
wait a second, Dealer. Do people really think or are they just trolling? They really believe all the games are going to come? Because that's kind of evident that they're not.
All the big ones, yeah. A lot of them believe that.
Oh, wow.
Fail Pyromancer, he's being real nice.
They're saying
in
it
the
anyway.
DMs tonight. Shout out to Fail Pyromancer.
He was mad at you.
He's mad. He's mad. Take Two CEO, Fonzarelli. I need some passion here, because he says he thinks we're all ready for $70 games. Fonz, Take Two CEO. This is Strauss Zelnick, the guy that said he's not microtransacting you enough. He's not getting enough from you.
I think he's ready to just go away. I'm not into paying $70 for games. I've got a PlayStation 5. And I refuse to pay $70 for the games. Yes, I'm not buying their games for $70. Sorry, not doing it.
What about Ghost of Tsushima 2?
Nope, not paying $70. I refuse. God of War. I'm waiting for either if they're cheaper, if I buy them online physically, I will do that. And I know some sites I can do that and get like $10-12 off. So I will be doing it that way rather than paying $70 and buying digitally, which I normally would do. My PlayStation 5 will be mostly a physical gaming machine because of this. I refuse to pay $70 for games. We're already paying way too much. Microtransactions make up the bulk of these companies' money anyway, including PlayStation, mind you. PlayStation makes most of their money through microtransactions, just in case the fanboys want to run with, well, we buy all exclusives. No, you don't. You buy microtransactions. That's what makes the bulk of these companies' money. And look, $70 for their games, it's just not happening. Not happening with me.
But Straff says you're ready.
I think he's crazy.
He says, you are ready. Also, hey, let me give a shout out to Isaac. He's crushing some in the chat. Also got Punkadish, shout out to him. We were playing Division with him several weeks back, actually. He says Xbox gets burned by everything they do. It's bullshit. Yeah, man, they can't. Damn if they do, damn if they don't, right? We'll see. A lot of times they are their own worst enemy, though, as we've been very vocal about. But was this time that time? I don't think so. We'll wait and see what's happening on Thursday, right? As we talked about. Now, we're still talking about an Xbox event coming up, and I got some questions there as well. So, again, chat, if you're still here, well over 2,000 watching, hit the like button, share it out. We do appreciate it. Let's try to get past 1,000 likes for the end of the show. Let us know your thoughts.
The Geeky Nerd has a point. He says people buy every controller ever, but draw the line at $70 games. LOL.
Who's people?
You're right. Some people do. I don't.
And some people buy $70 games,
I
right?
rarely buy extra controllers ever.
Fonz is still using the Atari 2600 controller.
No,
on his Xbox.
I use the pack-in controllers that come with the consoles, and when they wear out, then I get a new one.
Yeah,
I bought
and
the
true,
Gears
that's
5
completely
one, that was
different
it,
when
yeah.
you're talking about Jim Ryan saying that they need to do $70 games and stuff like that. We wouldn't defend it if Xbox said it because we know the books, right? Record revenue. We know that they're making X amount of microtransactions. You can see all this stuff. And when they say, well, we have to bring our games to PC, as Jim Ryan recently said, because the Sony fans aren't enough, we need more money. We can't supply these big AAA budgets. That's a lie because we see their revenue, we see how well they're doing, and the microtransactions and price hike just mitigated what he just said.
What did he say, dealer? He said they need to bring the games up in price because what?
He said that AAA development is basically it's too expensive now. To sum it up on his recent
And the Sony console
he said
game
Sony
buyers is
gamers are not enough.
not enough.
Bonds, where's that button at? You missed your timing.
That goes.
Boom! Perfect timing.
Do it.
Nope.
Evaporated.
He
Hit
missed
crap for maximum damage.
Hey, I got a question for Tim now. Because I just saw this and I'm not sure how legitimate this is. You know, Photoshop and all this stuff. It could be very much the case, but Xbox UK say Xbox event is not including Bethesda related things.
No, I think he's Sam or whatever. I think he's talking about his own show. The latest, I think tomorrow you'll get a wire about Thursday, but there's something going on Thursday from Jeff Grubb. If you look at his Twitter, he has the link up and he talks about it. So there's something coming Thursday.
That's perfect. I'm looking forward to that. There's also some update related things. I did not get a chance to actually read this update on the FPS boost, the auto HDR, and the accessories. Did anybody get a chance to check that out?
No.
The what?
Man.
I saw it, but I thought it was really cool, but it just wasn't getting read today.
Hang on. Let me look through that. Also, well, Deacon, you did a video on this, right? D, I'll let you do this while I look into this, but basically, AMD and Microsoft are working together to bring super resolution on the Xbox Series consoles. So tell people listening what that means and exactly why you're excited for that.
Oh, well, I'm really excited for that. Well, for starters, with the ray tracing that we get on the consoles, the performance is not optimal. And that's obviously because ray tracing is really demanding. Now, on PC, we got the DLSS solution, the deep learning super sampling, which is machine learning AI. Basically, it looks at the image and it reconstructs it in the way it should look natively. And a lot of the time, it actually looks a little bit better than it does natively, which is really weird.
I've seen that, like on Youngblood on the PC.
Yeah, but it's a fantastic feature, and that's what's enabling ray tracing to really be a thing on these new RTX cards. Now, AMD is introducing their own super resolution Fidelity FX, which is their solution to upscaling, and it's interesting because for the Xbox Series S and the Series X, they both have hardware inside of it that's dedicated to machine learning, and Sony doesn't have any type of hardware inside there that we know of, and that has to do with accelerating machine learning. On top of that, they're going to be using the neural network in the Microsoft libraries, so it's basically a DX12 feature that they'll be implementing on their consoles. I'm going to presume so, because the super resolution is basically based on Microsoft's machine learning. Now, on PS5, now don't quote me on this because there's still more things that we need to know, and AMD needs to come clean with all of this. But AMD did say that they are bringing this to the consoles. So my theory is that the PlayStation 5 version of this super resolution, obviously I don't think it's going to entail machine learning because they don't use the DX12 API. They don't have any type of dedicated hardware inside of their console to take care of the machine learning. So I think they're going to probably have some type of checkerboarding method that they implement into the super resolution, or AMD works together with Sony to do that. So it is going to come to the PlayStation 5. Nonetheless, it's going to be effective. Like it's going to give you better frame rates, especially with ray tracing, where it's like 30 frames per second. You should have much better frame rates now. I'm gonna
feel like I'm watching a D video.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be a lower resolution on the PlayStation 5 just because it's a less powerful system. It's got less CUs, and the stuff that I mentioned before. It has no hardware in there to accelerate stuff.
So is this using like the AI, kind of like DLSS, to?
Well, for Microsoft, for the Series X, I'm pretty sure that that's what it's going to use because they have dedicated hardware in there. They're working hand they're working hand in hand on this. So for the Series X, I'll put my reputation on the line here, like anybody cares, but I'll say that they are going to use machine learning for their super resolution on the Series X, which will really help out the Series S as well, because as we know, some games are at 1080p, 900p. This would help them boost the resolution and the frame rates. Now for Sony, I don't know how they're going to bring machine learning, because we don't know of any type of API.
Software. Software, right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be some type of software, and once again, it's gonna be a checkerboard solution that they'll probably implement into it to give them a boost. Overall, I just think the performance and the feature set of this is just gonna be better on the Series X just because of the hardware. But honestly, tell you, I can't wait for this to come to consoles, because it's really needed for the ray tracing games. The normal rasterization of games on both of these consoles is pretty good right now. It's just when ray tracing comes on, it kind of tanks down to 30 frames per second, which is expected. Now with this, like I said, you can 60 frames per second on ray tracing games. Maybe they'll use it on games that don't have ray tracing to get the frame rate up to 120 at 4K or close to 4K.
Like all this stuff stacks too, right? So you could have a checkerboard game with checkerboard ray tracing, and then basically DLSS all of that.
Yeah. And so there were some reports out there, like I haven't heard anything from my sources, but there's some reports out there that it can give up to 50% improvement in performance. Now I'm gonna have to wait to see all of that.
I got in so much trouble for saying that because I talked about a 50% performance boost when you bring in when you bring in machine learning, up res, you bring in VRS,
Lies, Cole.
and all that stuff. And they're like, well, that's not possible. It's like, but when you stack these things, and you look at resolution counts, frame rates, quality settings over what the PlayStation will have to do with hardware and software based implementation, that's where you could see a 50% performance difference. And performance means more things than just how many pixels or how many
and
frames.
D is saying he thinks the
drawn.
Xbox is going to do better over time because there's more silicon inside the console that can accelerate those kind of things.
Yeah, and when it comes to this type of software stuff, I trust Microsoft with this stuff. This is their bread and butter, and I just think it's going to work extremely well on the Series S and Series X. I know Jason Ronald was on the Iron Lords podcast. I think it was over the weekend. I did catch a clip of it, and he did reply to that, and he said, listen, we believe in machine learning so much that we dedicated hardware on the Xbox Series X for this. So you better bet your bottom dollar that they are going to use this. And once again, like we say here all the time on this show, you're going to see it in the future, and then we're just going to tell you we told you so. The tools will mature and the feature set, and we're going to get even new tools that will be applied. And I think
the tools.
Yeah, it is what it is. And you know what? I'll take all the L's now to enjoy the spoils of the victory a year from now. And I guarantee you, a year from now, when you see all of these things being implemented, you're going to see that Microsoft made the right choice on making their console, more future-proof than at least the competition.
Okay. Well, again, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing all these different innovations. I don't know if chat. I don't know if you've noticed. I was on a interview with the Dirt 5 technical director, GameOnDaily.com. Check it out. Link down below. We did an interview with crap. I don't remember his name right now, but he was David. Yes, he was a really nice guy. And I asked him again, just like I made a video years ago talking about how they could accelerate or have some kind of physics on console, and I was sure to ask him if they could accelerate physics with the ray tracing hardware inside the box. And he said, yeah, that's a great question. And you imagine a crowd of millions that actually are laced with physics, and you're running a car through. Like, he basically confirmed all that stuff, that it was a possibility. Like, there's so much cool stuff that they can do. And unless they're maxing out every part, they're not maxing out the box. So again, someone else said, crap, I lost your name, but he mentioned Forza Horizon 4, second on Steam already, and that came out today, right?
It's been out a few hours. It's number 2 best selling sales. Hey, D-Batch, Face 23, Brooklyn, New York says that machine learning has nothing to do with AMD's super resolution.
Well, if you look into it, the reports are that the super resolution is based off of some of the algorithms.
It's an algorithm,
from the machine learning. And like we've stated before, it's not hard to see that AMD and Microsoft are working hand in hand on their next generation console. Microsoft has, you know, the neural networks training for machine learning. Microsoft has dedicated hardware on the Series S and Series X for machine learning. So it's kind of a no-brainer, but you know, they'll unveil it in time, and you know, you'll see.
Yeah, and two, that's the AMD's traditional, whatever the desktop class stuff. We don't know how Microsoft would get more or propel their console solution. So again, that's something that should come to everything and make gaming better across the board, which should be pretty damn awesome. By the way, this update we're talking about, because there are people that want to know, there is going to be an accessories app on Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Windows 10. This, this does also include new toggle settings that are going to be available for FPS boost and auto HDR. I mentioned this several videos ago. That's definitely probably going to be the case. Achievements are coming to the mobile app, or the Xbox app mobile, yeah. And then there's going to be a new way to manage your Xbox subscriptions. And that's going to be by just turning them all off and saying no more. I have 50.
Hey, dealer, are you guys going to talk about this GeForce Now working in the Edge browser on the Xbox Series X, which allows you to play just about any game through streaming?
Right?
Stadia and GeForce Now playing like a bunch of playing like Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn from GeForce Now on the Xbox at like full quality or full GeForce Now quality. Have you looked into this, D-Batch?
Yeah,
They just updated the Edge browser, so this is possible
on the Xbox One and the Series consoles. You'll be able to play things like Google Stadia, Fonz's favorite,
and add to that retro back and pat thing that you can do. The emulation, like holy crud, like they're unlocking the Series consoles where you could play just like 75% of the games that are out there that exist right now. It's crazy.
That's what I love about Microsoft. They're just, they're just really a good gaming company. They're like open. Other companies would shut that down right away. Microsoft, there's even emulators that you can run on the Series X. There's other things. Honestly, to tell you, the Series X, they might have to lock down certain things of it because I don't even want to put it into the atmosphere. But there's certain things that I don't want people to get a hold of on the Xbox and start doing because
what is it? The dark web app.
No, not even that.
Oh gosh, Tim.
I was talking about mining because this is just in theory, right? I shouldn't put it in the atmosphere, but whatever. This is just in theory because it is a Windows OS, right? So they do have a developer mode, right? So I just don't want someone to find a way to do mining on the Xbox Series X because then it'd be really bad for gamers.
Oh, they're already trying, I hear. So
yeah.
But do tell us about that dark web.
Dang it, honestly, can you get there?
I don't know. It's I need a goat sound real quick.
Let's dance then, boys. Let me go.
Hey,
ahead.
can you give us a Randall Thor?
The man with the million.
Oh my God, you got that one too?
Oh my God.
I told Fonz to share this on Twitter for all these any of you that follow any of us on Twitter. But Fonz recorded a little 1-minute video showing us this soundboard he's got that runs all of his new audio equipment. That's really cool, and Fonz is going to be doing some cool stuff. But yeah, he got some sound bites in there, and he pushes a little bright button, and he can make that happen.
Show us all of them, Fonz.
Yeah, give it a spin.
Oh,
give him a quick intro and then do them.
Just do one at a time, or just say.
That's for D.
That's what they are, and then hit it.
It's interesting, isn't it?
That's Tim Ryan.
The man with the million.
That's our good buddy Randall Thor.
And then we've got several others. There's different boards and stuff.
He put midget. He put midget videos on one of them. This way. Oh my God.
Okay.
That one's absurd.
I'll tell you. So if YouTube doesn't work out for Fonz, he's going to go work at your local baseball stadium and.
The man with the million.
Yeah, those are all just stuff that came on board,
That's
except
cool,
for the
though.
stuff that I added there. But yeah,
You should find
Oh,
really cool
fun.
sound bites from the show and stick them on some.
Yeah, we need I Like Turtle.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I. Why do you think I'm scrolling through the show?
Like, which one y'all kick me? I Like Turtles and Zocker's a fraud. We need those. Oh, and we need
Soccer
Dealer. I need that one in there.
Yeah, Dealer. Yeah, I like that one.
Perfect. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Seriously, let me read a few more of these guys.
Oh,
Thanks
shout
for-
out to Ed from Xbox Air as well.
Yeah, shout out to Ed, who just wanted a shout out from Colt, but 230 pebbles bad. He said, hey, we got Swan. He says a lot of people discussing the wording of the statements today with Bethesda. Yeah, they have trouble reading. Nano Polymath, he says almost 2K in the chat. It's Bethesda Day. Things got to be worthy. Tim Dog yell. Tim Dog, I don't know if it's worth a yell, but almost 2,500 today. He went, oh boy.
Too tired right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Faisal, he says, so let me decide. What do you say? Let me decode D-batch logic. Sony is you have exclusives. Okay, yeah. I don't know how to take that one. I ain't gonna diss my boy D-batch here. RA89, he says, is that the new version of Edge on Xbox? Really able to run Stadia at GeForce? Yeah, we just covered that one. That's gonna be pretty interesting. See what kind of latency numbers we're getting here. We've also got Bernard, by the way, says, great show, guys. Do we think the language you use is to help other major publishers? There's so many things up in the air.
I covered that. Yeah, I covered that. But...
I don't think so, but
Okay.
that's a weird one. Yeah.
Kashan, by the way, he says, now that Bethesda is under the same roof as Obsidian, In Exile, etc., what studio/game collaborations? I mean, Fallout. We need Fallout from one of these guys, right? Maybe not from the studio you're expecting, but yeah, Fallout. I would like Fallout. Collaborate. A better Fallout. Tim, Fallout.
A different Fallout.
Remember, they now own the original Brian Fargo and these guys from Interplay, right? These guys made Fallout. Bethesda later bought that IP from them. They own both of these teams now. I think that would be...
And Exile, Brian Fargo was... too.
Yes.
People, that's even before the Bethesda deal. I was so high on the 15 studios. You look at everything that they have, and those, as we know, are exclusive. But, you look at guys like Brian Fargo. You got the guy, Tim Schafer. You got, obviously 343. But you have a lot of studios there. The Ninja Theory studio, I don't know his name, but he's the guy that did the video in Diary 2. He's the guy who's he's real serious.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Tameen, maybe. He's unbelievable. And then Compulsion guy, I had when the TXR back in the day had the Compulsion people on, and they're really cool people. They push the limit. They want to push push the limit, and they're a very interesting studio. They also fought for their right to be big and not to be like a small studio. From what I heard, they're getting 100 people added, and they're getting their own studio offices in the next 2 years. But they're a team to watch. But the point is that even you take away Bethesda deal, Xbox was not in a bad position. They were competitive. Probably definitely not up to the slate of Sony, but they were competitive. They were in that, they had 15 studios. Sony had 13. Now they got the big guy, and that's just, that's hard to compete with. And maybe that's why there's so much of this exclusivity talk and stuff like that. But that move today was just a monumental day, and I think it had to be that way. This is a big deal, and we'll find out soon on everything. But today was one for the books.
I just saw a very interesting tweet from Underachiever. Shout out to him. Lord Starkelly says, agree with Nano. Let's get a shout. Let's get an exclusivity shout. Yeah, he's dead. We're all dead. Brainstorm, shout out to you, buddy. $10 super chat. Dark CMF says, we can't win. Ponies will never actually, they'll never buy into Xbox. They might buy into their cell phones though, and their PC. They all have 3080 super millions. We were all hearing about this stuff. So, that he mentions that in the actual super chat is funny. Dan, shout out to you. basically saying Xbox was the kid getting bullied for forever, and now it's time to. Tides have turned. I'm not encouraging bullying, by the way. Radam, whatever. Shout out to you, buddy. He says it kind of like Phil not announcing if they will or will not be exclusive. The ponies don't know what to do. Yeah, they don't know what to do, man. They're freaking out. Also, we've got Beyond the River Sticks. Shout out to you, $10 super chat. He says, I think the reason that Xbox is still being so vague is because they will possibly be buying another publisher. If they're too aggressive, the other deal could fall through, basically. Huh. Interesting. Thank you so much. X Burke. Shout out to you, $10 super chat. He says, what's wrong with Microsoft sticking to their message for the games everywhere? Yeah. I mean, again, good point. That's the thing about not being super consistent with your messaging. I remember Phil in the Tomb Raider deal, right, Colt? He said that they never really wanted to do that stuff again. This is a bit different because ZeniMax were up for sale. They did not want Google, Tencent, Amazon, these other guys to get a hold of them. Google turned out, they said, wow, we saw how much and we're done. Basically made Stadia stop trying to compete.
What's wrong with helping fund development of a
well, if
game?
Something's up for sale, you got to get it if you can. If not, let it go to someone like Tencent who's going to lock it down and make free-to-play or mobile games the whole time, right?
And if Stadia or, Amazon got this service, it would basically, these studios, Bethesda, it would basically breathe life into their cloud service for sure, because you now would have a reason to invest in it. Because if you want to play the latest Elder Scroll or Starfield or whatever, you'd have to play it on their platform or on PC. So, yeah.
People really believe that Xbox bought Bethesda to save them from Amazon and Tencent, and then didn't ask PlayStation to go halvesies on them. Like, what the fuck? What are you guys thinking? We play halvesies,
Yeah.
We'll promise to give you some of these games since you helped pay for this deal. Sony didn't pay for anything here.
Nope.
Yeah.
And like that quote that we saw, what Microsoft owns, Sony cannot get. Remember that?
We will see. It should be fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people are stressing out, though. I mean, honestly, even in our own Discord, guys, don't stress out about this stuff. Just wait till Thursday. Wait and see what happens. But again, if we're not stressing out, then it's definitely not something. Wait for E3. Psychonauts, you're now live with J Fonzarelli and WKPR. LOL. Drunk Ninja, he says, can we get a shout out for continuing with the PlayStation and Series X drops? On Twitter, basically keeping you guys up to date and trying to get you guys the system. Shout out to D. What the hell?
Sorry.
That's a nice ringtone, D.
It's like listening to some old 1920s cartoon.
Zeal, by the way, says y'all are the best Xbox podcast. Y'all should also be the best PlayStation podcast too. He says y'all would smoke all the current cats. That's hilarious. Snake Eyes, Xbox equals consumer friendly. Got 12 months of Game Pass Ultimate for less than $100 early. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yadani says, hi, this is, what'd you say? Lamar Khan's Burner. What is that? Anybody know what? I'm guessing it sounds like something from Mortal Kombat. He said, by the way, that new Mortal Kombat movie, that trailer looks fucking amazing. Fruity Pebble's amazing. He says, just wanted to say sorry to Tim Dog for being a meanie pants. Seriously though, he's hoping like Gears 5, the DLC for Doom Eternal gets added to Game Pass. RDX, get hyped. Shout out to you, brother. Let me go. I got to skip through some of these guys. This is a lot of these Psychonauts, Microsoft, Edge-based browser. Yes, we did talk about that, brother. Check it out. We also got Lord Starkiller again. Shout out to D for his AMD Fidelity FX Super Res video. More tech. Yes. Shout out to D again.
Thanks.
Yes, a lot of shout outs, D. It's great. We've got another one from Stone. He says, shout out to the RDX panel. Y'all are awesome, except that dude Colt Eastwood. He blocked me on Twitter for no reason.
Dealer!
Hey, dealer.
Sound like me.
So many people message me, can you get Colt to unblock me, please? Like, I don't know what I even said to him.
You probably said Xbox wasn't amazing. And
You
Colt
said PS5's
"What?"
better, and I blocked. Yeah.
Oh God! Hey, shout out to RDX, son of a FET. I don't know what that means, but he says new browser base. You play stream, so PlayStation games. It's funny. Doom, $10 super chat says Starfield is the game I am looking at. The game should be exclusive to Xbox. I'm not worried about the older IP. If Starfield isn't exclusive, why spend 7.5 billion? Support by smaller devs. Again, the real test, even if it wasn't, would be the games that come out after the deal was struck. Or the games that started development after the deal was struck. Viper XT says we want Game Pass to succeed, and for that to happen, it needs subscription growth. To do that, you need these games that draw people in. Yes, sir. Snake Eyes, Game Pass dub, 12 teraflop dub, RDNA 2 dub, machine learning dub, Game Resume dub, ZeniMax, Bethesda dub. That's a lot of dubs. Yes, sir. Let me go and skip through some of these here. Tony Art says Fonz needs his It's a Wrap. Oh my God, that's a good idea. Fonz, It's a Wrap. Dark CMF, he says he's starting an OnlyFans for my consoles. People who weren't able to get these consoles should be able to see them. That's funny. And then we've got let me decide which one of these to jump to here, because I don't have enough time to get all of them. Remixed Gaming says shout out to D. You're getting another one
Nice.
for the restock. So you must have did that during the show or something.
Yeah, there was a lot of restocks in the last 24 hours, so I've been pretty active on it. And I gotta say that the restocks are getting a little bit better. They it still sells out, don't get me wrong, but they sell out a little bit slower now. So yeah, we saw a few drops this week. There should be a few more. I think that this stuff is more or less from the Chinese New Year, what they did before they went on the break. So I think after next week, we might see it slow down for a little bit. But I think everything should stabilize in May. I'm hoping, so that I don't have to tweet it out to you guys every time I see it anymore. But yeah, I think hopefully it'll stabilize soon. And yeah, just follow my Twitter and you guys will be able to find a console.
I know D-Bash. We're about to do some outros, guys. Again, if you've joined us, thank you so much for what you do. Hit the like button on your way out. Maybe tell a buddy or two. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, support all these guys. I'm going to give their information out here in a second. But another super chat from Lul, or Leul. I don't know how to pronounce that. But shout out to you, buddy. He says Xbox should make a Static Shock or Spawn exclusive. That would be pretty cool. Spawn especially. Some brutal deaths in that game, I would imagine. Yeah. I think I've got all of the ones that I feel like I absolutely need to do here. Yep, I think so. So again, shout out to everybody who super chatted. I tried to get as many as I could, guys. Thank you for what you do. We passed 1,000 likes. Thank you. Let's do some outros. And again, almost 2,500 tonight. Tuning in once again. We're all dead. We're gonna do some outros. Cold Eastwood, tell people where you've been playing, where can people find you, and why is half your face blue and the other half red?
Because one side's really, really mad and the other side is holding his breath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that could
make sense.
I've been playing Prey. I got halfway through that game on PC like 4 years ago, and I kind of got back into it. I'm not sure if I love it yet, but yeah,
I'd wait for the enhancement.
I don't know if there's going to be one. Playing at 30 frames is not. It's getting real old. So yeah, just covering this Bethesda stuff. I'm so sick of saying the word, and I feel bad for all of you guys having to hear it for so long. But we all I know all of us are addicted to talking about it. So that's just how it is. Hopefully we see some cool stuff or get a cool answer or two on Thursday. But yeah, I'm Cold Eastwood. That's where I am. And check out my video if you didn't. And if you don't, watch Dealer's video that he's going to put out in 1 to 7 days.
Who knows? Immortal Jedi, by the way, shout out to me, says Avengers gets a complete next-gen update in a week. So if you've been waiting to play that, I might go back and try to play that game again. But I don't know. Just wish they would have focused on a more traditional experience there. That's just me. Mm-hmm. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Fonzarelli Gaming, tell people where they can find you, buddy, what you've been playing, and stuff like that.
Yeah. First of all, somebody mentioned Fruity Pebbles in the comments. Yeah, we like Fruity Pebbles around here.
Of course.
It's a good cereal, good breakfast, good lunch, whenever you want to have Fruity Pebbles. It's great. Anyway, you can find me at Fonzarelli Gaming right here on YouTube, making some videos lately. So
made one today.
Check me out there. And Jay Fonzarelli on Twitter, You can find me there as well. And great chat today. Great topics. Well, really great topic because that's pretty much what we talked about today was the Bethesda, ZeniMax, all that. Yeah, good show, man. Great time.
Yeah, it was definitely a mainstay, man. And Fonz made a video today, so check that out. Go find him at Fonzarelli Gaming.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's interesting, isn't it? You showed that clip in the video. And if you don't follow him on Twitter, you can find him in my tweet. If you follow me, you can click that and find him there.
Tweet.
D-Batch. D-Batchimus Prime. Tell people where they can find you, man. And what have you been playing, buddy?
You can find me at D_batch. Definitely follow if you want to find a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. You can follow me on YouTube at D-Batch if you want the latest tech and gaming news. I've been just playing Call of Duty whenever I've had a chance. Honestly, tell you, just been really, really busy, so not a lot of time for gaming right now. But hopefully things calm down soon enough, and I can get back to the regular way of life. I also have a question for Colt. You did answer why one side of your avatar is red and blue, but I want to know, why does your avatar now have glasses? Are you a clone?
It's funny. Somebody goes, "Oh, I thought it was one of your imposters." I don't know. I just put glasses on because I wear my glasses every day, and only like 5 people have noticed.
So this
that
is
I changed the avatar. Yeah, I just did it because I've been on podcasts on camera, and I'm wearing my glasses because I feel comfortable there, so I can actually see. And so yeah, I just threw it on there. Like, why not?
Okay.
And someone DM'd me and goes, "Take those glasses off immediately. They look horrendous." And I said, "No."
What?
Yeah, and I said no, and he goes, "I was just kidding." I'm like, "All right, buddy."
He probably was.
You should have said,
and
but
then
I
you blocked
can't
him, and then
see
he
without
messaged
him.
D-Batch and said, "Tell Colt I'm
Yeah,
back."
that's what happened. You like, "Are you gonna block this guy?"
What happened?
No, I don't know.
You heard it here first. That's the evolved Colt. We got it.
Hey, RDX, son of a fet, he says that he is playing Days Gone on his Xbox through Stream right now. Or Steam, rather.
That's a cool
So
game.
how are you playing it through Steam? Is he streaming Steam? What's going on there? Steam streaming?
Yeah, what's the deal?
And Ermi
Yeah.
says, by the way, there's a fake dealer gaming account out there on Twitter. These
Wait.
clowns are pathetic. Yeah.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a
they
fake
are.
everybody on Twitter.
Can't you get PlayStation Now on the Edge browser, D-Batch? Is that what he's doing?
I don't.
I would think that. I think that was
would
part
so,
of what you can
Because if
do.
it's unlocked for Stadia, if it's unlocked for GeForce, then I don't see why it wouldn't be unlocked for them as well, right?
Well, I mean, he's got to answer. He replied. He should give us an answer. What's he playing it on?
Sean Connery.
Edge browser with PlayStation Now? That'd be cool.
Tell us.
I don't know.
Quit holding out on us.
Why are you holding out on us? We've also got another one here from Game Time with Patrick. Says, great show as always. And he says he's waiting for Zalker to hit him up on Rocket League. Apparently he's dodging him.
I'm not dodging anybody. I'm ranking up.
He said he's ranking up. Good
I am. I ranked up last night. It was great.
Well, Zalker, speaking of, tell Patrick where you can find you on Xbox Live, message you so you guys can play some Rocket League. And what have you been playing, buddy?
Find me on Twitter, Zalker87, YouTube Zalker87, Xbox Zalker87, and yeah, I've been playing Rocket League. Been playing a lot of Dirt 5 mainly. I'm really enjoying that game. I just like a little time sink, honestly, and just something cool to play. I haven't played a racing game in a while because I'm not really a big racing fan, but I'm enjoying Dirt 5. And obviously like the Medium and all those, and Doom Eternal on PC. Just kind of playing a bunch of games. I'm actually looking at a new game that's coming out on the 26th called It Takes Two. It's from the people that made A Way Out. And it actually looks pretty damn creative and fun co-op game that I'm actually going to be playing with my girl. That game looks pretty damn good. You guys should check it out. It looks really cool. I don't know why. Saw it today, and I'm going to play the hell out of that.
Awesome. RDX, son of a fet, he says new browser lets you play Steam. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. Days Gone ain't even out on PC yet.
Wait. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap, bro.
Oh my god.
Come on. Why you got to do that now, Fonz?
This is where we end that shit.
He's still going. He's still going. Yeah, so follow Zalker87 at Zalker87. Tim Dog, tell people where you've been playing, buddy, and where people find you, man.
Tim's not here.
Oh, shit. Well, Tim
left. He was like, I'm done.
His cookies were done. You hear his little feet. His little feet running off. He was very hungry. But yeah, shout out to everyone still here, guys. Almost 1,700. Just listen to the outros. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Shout out to all the super chats, all the channel owners, all of the patrons. I'll be updating that as always. And again, please message me if you want to be patient. I might be able to get back to you at dealer_gaming on Twitter. I space dealer space I on Xbox Live. And here on YouTube, I'll be uploading a video hopefully here soon. Hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, and all that stuff. Links down below. Thank you so much to everyone that supports what I do, supports the panel, follow these guys. And seriously, you guys power the show. You make us what we are. Thank you. We are going to get out of here. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody, right? All right. Tim Dog's not here. Follow Tim Dog at xCloud, Tim Dog on Twitter.
Yeah!
And today,
Okay.
today, D-Bash is very excited. Today, Tim Dog's the fraud. We're out. I mentioned it in the chat. Today's gonna
Well,
be